Hi everyone, it's Holly with Missouri River Soap, and today I am going to make our pink grapefruit sea salt soaps. I thought it'd be fun to put them in the heart mold for the upcoming season. So I'm going to add in the coconut milk to the base oils, which if you remember, a salt soap typically has a high percentage of coconut oil and a high superfat. But I also use castor and shea and cocoa butter, and this is a recipe that I have shared many times. I've added in the coconut milk. Now I'm going to put in the lye solution. And we tap the stick blender, or some people swirl, to release all the air that might be caught in the shaft, because we don't want to incorporate that into our soap. So you'll find that I tap quite a bit. Smell that coconut milk coming through right now. It smells so good. So now I'm going to add in my grapefruit fragrance oil, and this will kind of reverse trace in a regular batch, so it does help me with my salt soap here. Remove the stick blender here for a moment. I try to scrape down for you guys, but sometimes it's a little tedious and doesn't always get the job done. So I have a mixture of pink salt and regular sea salt. And I use about 50% of the batch size I use as salt. Very bubbly at first. It goes down in there. You really have to stir it well, because it can kind of catch up on the bottom there. And you don't want to pour it too thin, or else the salt won't stay suspended in the batter. So already it kind of has a pinky hue from the sea salt, the pink one, the pink Himalayan salt. I'm going to go ahead and split some off so that I can color it. I'm going to stir it up really well so that it sends the salt out with it. There's some more. So into this one, I am just going to use a little bit of Pink Vibrance mica that I've mixed in just a little bit of olive oil. So I don't actually have olive oil in the batch, so I'll have to remember to put that into my ingredient list. I probably should mix it up with castor oil, but it's usually an afterthought. It is still just super duper thin, which can be good, but like I said, we also want that to stay suspended. So I think I'm going to give it a little bit more of a blend. to overdo it because I want to be able to pour clear to the end. Usually by the time I'm getting to the end, it's getting pretty gloppy. So right now, I always call it kind of a cream of wheat consistency. You know, kind of like a thin cream of wheat. The salt makes it seem that way. I'm feeling confident though that the salt is staying suspended, so I'm going to go ahead and add in this pink. Ends up mostly pink, you know, I'm okay with that. It is pink grapefruit and going to be in a heart shape, so that's going to be fun. Salt soaps are considered kind of a luxury soap. We up the super fat to counteract the coconut oil, and you need the coconut oil to lather with the salt. So it's just kind of a nice little balance that we do with the super fat. And then it's considered just kind of a spa type soap, as if you've, you know, been in the ocean. Some people just love how hard it gets. It gets a very hard soap bar. Sometimes the lather, depending on the recipe, will be really floofy bubbles. Other times it'll just kind of be creamy and dense because this is just salt that is within the batter. It is not dissolved at all. So we don't make any medical claims, but a lot of people do use salt soaps for acne. We don't promote it one way or another for that or not for that. We just don't make any medical claims because we can't. Some people find it hard on sensitive, you know, mucous membrane areas. So we usually don't recommend it for an all over body soap. And also, what's the other point I was going to make on the salt soaps? Oh, if you have a cut, the salt can definitely be irritating. Okay, so let's start. Isn't it pretty in there? And it's still quite thin. These are going to be so pretty. I probably should see. No, I was thinking if I should see if I have some chunkier pink salt, but I don't like chunky pink salt. I don't like chunky salt in my salt soaps at all because it scratches me. Now this will typically just wear very smooth like a stone. River stone is what they typically describe it. So I don't find this to be scratchy myself, but everybody has a different skin type. My good friend can't use salt soaps at all. It's just too much for her skin. And if you live in a really dry environment, it could be exaggerated just a little bit. So it's just up to you. A lot of people absolutely love the salt soaps, and this particular one was a request to get remade. So that's why I'm doing that today. This is going to be just a subtle swirl, and I just think it's going to be so pretty. I was doing it in the rectangular chunks, but I don't know, I feel like they're kind of hard to handle. So I thought the heart would be fun, and then I may change the design for regular versions also. One of a salt soap that I made before that did really well was a Dove type, just like the original Dove scent, and that one did really well, and that was requested to come back, so I'll probably do that in the heart shapes. And one of my best customers suggested using a salted caramel scent, so that's also on my agenda. So I have a lot of salt soaps to get made. I've kind of, after the rush of packing orders from the holiday season, I've kind of even though I've been busy, I've kind of fallen into a bit of a slumber, and I had a hard time finding motivation to make this batch today. But I turned on some rock and roll, some old-fashioned oldies, little Chuck Berry, The Twist, and Lottie Miss Claudie, and those ones really make me move. I was like, gotta get upstairs, gotta get the jazzy music on, and get the work done. The salt is staying suspended very nicely. I love it. Looks like I'm going to have some extra. I do only have the 4 heart-shaped molds, so I don't have a lot left down in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's not much in there at all. So what I may do, first of all, I'm going to give this a bit of a tappy tap. Like Chef John would say, give it the old tappa tappa. Anybody watch Chef John? He's one of my favorites. He's on YouTube. And little air pockets. I'll try to pop some of those guys. Without making too big of a mess. This paw print mold is one of my favorites, and I haven't really utilized it a lot. I was going to do 1 paw print, and this one is probably going to be mine. Perks of the job, you know. So still pretty swirly. Let's see, I think I'll make that a thinner bar. And we'll do another thinner bar. Who knows? Might end up as a sample somehow. So if you're really careful and don't scrape too much on an in the pot swirl, usually can keep some of the separation in colors. It does definitely get more mottled towards the end as you're scraping it. Okay, so here we have the pink grapefruit sea salt soap hearts, and I will be back to unmold them. Alright, so I am back to unmold the pink grapefruit sea salt soaps, and these were the little paws extras that I made. Super cute. I really need to be using that mold more. These have been sitting for a few days. It's just a matter of I've been busy. And so here we have a cute little heart. The silicone molds just make it so smooth. I don't know if you can see how shiny and smooth it is. This one has a little bit of a lip, so I will most likely just plane that, or bevel it I mean. I'll just take my little veggie peeler and just run it around the edge. These are nice hefty bars of soap. I will weigh one for you. It's actually only about 5 ounces, but it's still a nice length. It looks chunky and nice, and I just love this shape. It is just so pretty. You can see the pink salt in there. Love it, and it smells so good. I really like the salt bars in a shape. I think it's always fun to be able to kind of grab onto it like so. I was wanting to just get these all put out on the tray, but I think I'd do better if I just pulled my molds off first. I do use these aluminum trays, but I put a barrier down. These are just the sweetest molds. I absolutely love how these turned out. Love it. I know I'm going to be asked where I got the mold. I just picked it up off of Amazon, just a standard heart mold. So there's really not much to this. I'm just going to continue to unmold these soaps and put them on the tray so they can do their curing. So here we have the pink grapefruit sea salt soap. Be perfect for the upcoming holiday season. And I'll talk to you guys later.